What's good, everybody? It's your boy Des Lexi Firearms Train out here in the cave shooting a quick video, and I want to talk about triggers. And not the types of triggers that get you all worked up to make you all emotional and stuff like that. I want to talk about these kinds of triggers, Glock triggers, and in particular the Glock Performance trigger. So I recently took a class and I ran my Shadow Systems MR920, all stock, no internal changes or anything like that. And it ran great class, put about 500 or so rounds through my gun. And a buddy of mine, he had his Glock 49, he had the Glock Performance trigger, and he let me borrow his for a little bit. Didn't get to any live fire, but I did dry fire for a little bit, and I really like that Glock Performance trigger. And I said, I might want to try this out. So I did my research on it, and I went out there and purchased my own, and I put it in my Shadow Systems XR920. And I've been testing it out for a while, ran some rounds through it. I posted a video a little while ago about it. Now I want to talk about it and compare it between a Gen 5 Glock 19 trigger, Shadow Systems MR920 trigger, and then the Glock Performance trigger in a Shadow Systems XR920. So first we have the Glock 19 Gen 5 trigger. Now this isn't a stock Glock 19, as you can see. There has been some customization externally, aesthetically, to this gun, but internally it's all the same. This is my Stormtrooper Glock that I had custom designed by Dakota Customs. Shout out to you guys, did an awesome job. I am a big geek, I do like my Star Wars. Check that out, that is pretty cool. He did an awesome job like this. Also did the mags as well. But check out this Gen 5 trigger on here. Let's check this trigger out. See all that take up? Pressure. A little creep. Let's see that creep. Break. Now let's see that reset. Right. Right there. Bam. That's that reset. So this is a stock Gen 5 Glock 19 trigger. Now let's see this Shadow Systems MR920 trigger. All the internals are factory. The only thing I did to this gun is add the compensator. I really like this gun. This is their equivalent to a Glock 19. So let's see. Now this trigger, there's a lot of slack, a lot of slop in there. See here, take up, still pressing. Break, there's the break. Let's see that reset. Right there. And then break it. I'm used to it now. I've got used to it. I have, maybe 2,000 rounds with this gun, if not. I have more through this gun than I do this gun, right? So I'm definitely more used to this trigger. So I've definitely got used to it. So I have probably about 200 rounds through this gun with the new Glock Performance trigger. So let's take a look at the Glock Performance trigger and see how this does. Bam, right there, wall. Pressure, break. I like that. Let's see that reset. Reset is right there. Break. So let's see that again. So you got that take up, wall, break. Now there is a little bit of pressure to pull that trigger to the rear. Reset, right there. And then I'm right back on the wall. So there is a little bit of pressure. I would say this may be a little bit more than 4 pounds. It may be a little bit more than 4 pounds, but it's a smooth 4 pounds. It's really smooth. And I think the more I shoot it, the smoother it's gonna be. So I really do like this trigger in here. Like I said, I probably have about maybe 200 rounds through here, especially when you start shooting fast, you're really gonna notice that trigger. So you really gotta put some rounds through it to get used to it. Now, I like this setup. This is definitely my winter time setup, nightstand use. This is my go-to for that type of scenario. Now, will I go out and purchase another Glock Performance trigger to place in this one? Probably. It's not a big investment as far as how much it costs. It's about 80 bucks, if that. Drop in trigger, don't have to do anything special to it. Just drop it in and then take it to the range, start putting rounds down range. But it's definitely better than this. Really better than this factory wise. And I think this is a really good setup. Once you put the time into training and putting the rounds down range, this is a really good setup. I've heard some people say they've taken it out because they didn't like how quick that trigger was. Some people didn't like it. Some people thought it was too short of a reset or too smooth of a trigger press, especially for a carry gun or something like that. They don't really mess with the triggers. And I have been of that camp before. Keep all my carry guns stopped. This one I think is definitely gonna benefit it. It doesn't make it it's not like a 2-pound trigger or anything like that. I feel like it's still a decent heavy trigger, but it's just a smoother trigger. I don't think it lightened it up any, but it did make it a lot smoother, just for me personally. You go out there and test it for yourself and find out and see if it works for you. But that's just my 2 cents on the Glock Performance trigger. I think it's a good investment. I think you should go out there and test it out. But let me know what you think down below. Do you have one? Do you still run it? Let me know what you think. But that's just my 2 cents. Don't just own a firearm, become more proficient with your firearm. Keep training, stay safe.